Welcome back to the Deliberate Exchange. My name is Chelsea, otherwise known as the Deliberate One. Welcome back. So today I want to talk about an unofficial holiday, the back to school reset. I think for so many of us, September feels like a bit of a second new year. Even if you're not in school or you don't have kids, there's a collective energy of routine coming back, of fresh starts, new goals. I keep hearing the chatter about it, but it's also a little bit of a tricky time. Some people dread the fall. The days are getting shorter, the summer freedom is winding down, and the return to structure can stir up stress or resistance. The number of times in the last 2 weeks that I've heard like, oh, I can't believe summer's over, when it really isn't for another month, but that's what happens. So in this episode, I'd like to explore why change, even when it's positive, can feel really hard on your nervous system. I'm going to talk about how to reset or create new routines in a very stress-aware, science-based way. I'm going to offer you really simple tools to help you make the most of this fresh start energy without burning it out. And of course, let's get some fun facts about Labor Day and fall along the way. So we'll start with fall being a vibe. We got pumpkin spice lattes and apple picking and all that kind of stuff. When this episode is released, it'll be Labor Day in both the Canada and the US. And it actually started as a workers' movement holiday. And it was a way to honor balance between work and rest. Also, the perfect symbolism as we talk about getting back into routine. Psychologists have sometimes called September as a temporal landmark. These are the moments that are in the calendar that our brain associate with fresh starts, like New Year's Day, birthdays, even Mondays. And research shows that we're actually more motivated to set goals and to shift habits around these landmarks. But then there's the other side. Many people feel a loss, like a sense of loss or resistance in September. Summer is associated with freedom and play and being outside and longer days. As the light shifts and structure returns, your nervous system may register that as constraining or a threat. What's important to name here is that your resistance to new routines isn't stemming from laziness or a lack of willpower. It's often your stress response trying to protect you from change. And of course, there's good news. There's always good news. Once you understand how your nervous system works, you can create resets and routines that feel safe, nourishing, and really aligned with what matters most to you. So, nervous system 101 for resets. Your nervous system is designed to thrive on predictability. Routine signals safety. They tell your body that, okay, we know what's happening, we can rest, we can focus. When you introduce a brand new habit, your brain flags it as unfamiliar. And that means more energy expenditure, more scanning for threat. Even if it's a positive change, it still costs energy. If you have ever started strong with a new routine only to fall off after a week or two, it's not because you lack discipline. It's because you are trying to force change without safety. What I've learned after so many stop-starts with either quitting drinking or gym routines or eating healthy or whatever or drinking water, I've learned that the key to resets and creating them so that they last is to work with your nervous system, not against it. So what does that even mean? Here is a simple science-backed formula that you can return whenever you need a reset. Whether it is September, January, or a Tuesday when everything feels off and you've fallen completely off track. So step 1, anchor safety before you add anything. Don't launch into new routines from a dysregulated state. Pause and regulate first. Try slow exhales, a few minutes of breath work, shaking out your arms, or grounding yourself in your present environment. Also, you can check out my 7-day micro regulation toolkit. I'll link that in the show notes, but this will be perfect to kind of pepper in. Step 2, start with micro shifts. Choose the minimum effective dose. We want tiny, consistent actions so that your nervous system feels safe and you can build momentum. So you'll choose 2 minutes of stretching versus a 60-minute gym overhaul and work up from there. Step 3, stack new habits on old ones. Habit stacking, which I learned from James Clear's Atomic Habits, which is a phenomenal book, it makes change and adopting these new habits way easier. So you can think of it as, after I make coffee, I'll journal one line. After I close my laptop, I'll take 3 grounding breaths. So whatever you're doing already habitually, add in the new habit that you want to do. Step 4, align it with your values. This is the compass piece. I think that routines only last when they're tethered to what truly matters to us. Like there's impact and there's value. So if your value is health, choose nourishing food, movement, or rest. If your value is connection, prioritize time with loved ones. If your value is growth, carve out reflection or learning time, or get on board with a really great coach or therapist who's going to help you get to the next step that you're looking for. What I've learned is that values turn I should into I choose this because it leads me toward the life that I want. And if you've missed an earlier episode that I did on living by your values, go back and listen to that. It's going to give you clarity on which direction to steer your reset towards, and I'll link it in the show notes. Step 5, honor the season that you're in. And so what this looks like is considering fall, which is more grounding and has structure and maybe cozy rituals. And then winter is resting and slower rhythms. Spring is renewal and growth. And then summer can feel like expansion and play. When you match your routines to the energy of the season, whether it's nature season or your own personal season of life, your body ends up feeling way more supported. Step 6, pleasure and reward. Make it movie magic quality. Light a candle, play music, move slow, celebrate your wins. Your nervous system learns and repeats faster when joy is present. And step 7, reflect and adjust. Anytime you reset, I need you to understand that it isn't about perfection. We are just realigning. So create a weekly check-in, put it into your calendar. What's supporting me? What's draining me? What's one micro shift I can make this week that feels really nourishing? Now, I also thought it'd be helpful if I added in some reflection prompts so that you can use these anytime you're in a reset mode. Like when you're revisiting this episode, it's a Tuesday, you need to get back on track. And so I want you to consider the first thing, what feels most scattered or out of alignment right now? And second, what value do I want to honor more fully in my daily life? Third, what's the smallest possible action I can take this week that supports that value? And fourth, how do I want my routines to feel in my body? Do I want it to feel calming or energizing, grounding, joyful? And let those be, in addition to your values, your compass. So for some reason, gardening and metaphors have been really kind of coming up. And I learned this week that in Sanskrit, the word for meditation means to cultivate self. And this season, just like the garden, we're asked to clear, to release what has run its cycle, to close the loops, to really let what is no longer alive return to the earth. And breathwork works the exact same way. Each journey helps us clear emotional debris, untangle old roots, and really helps you make way for something new to grow. Because spring's bounty doesn't just appear. Like, think about it. It is cultivated now. It's cultivated in the quiet tending, in the courage to let go. It's in the trust that what we plant within will rise again. And this is the work that I guide inside of Rooted and Rising. Again, a bit of a gardening metaphor. Breath by breath, loop by loop, cultivating self. We clear what's complete so you can return to wholeness and create space for what's next. Now, here's the reframe that I want to leave you with. Resets are not punishments for falling off track. That method of thinking, that mindset is going to keep you looping in more of the same shit. What they actually are invitations back into alignment with your body, with your values, with the life that you actually want to live. So whether you're listening to this and it's September or January or simply a season when you feel disconnected from yourself, you always have permission to reset. And every single time you do, you are strengthening your self-trust, your resilience, and your ability to live in alignment. So as we head into Labor Day weekend or whenever you're listening, just remember, start small, anchor new habits to safety and existing routines, line them up with your values, make it joyful, make it magic, and reset as many times as you need. Resets aren't about perfection, they're about direction. Now, if this episode has resonated, share it with somebody who might be craving a reset too. Maybe they're looking at their garden beds and thinking they need to clear them. Maybe they're thinking already towards spring and what they can plant and see what grows. And if you're ready to go deeper to do that inner clearing and cultivating work through breathwork, I'd love to guide you inside Rooted and Rising. You'll find the link in the show notes. You can read all about it. So happy reset season. In the meantime, breathe it in, be deliberate, and please be good to yourself.